Today's weather has typical February weather. It's been like spices mixed with the hands of cook at the market. Spices, beautiful and delightful day. It was sunny all through, between the happy clouds that are passing through. This is my poem for today, which brings the correct weather atmosphere at this length of hour. Between this day's hours of today's weather. It's evening, and as we all know, at this day of February, the days are longer, brighter, a little bit warmer than it was 86 hours ago when I recorded the weather then. At the strokes of every day's hours. And this hour today is now merging between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. And as you can see, it's not dark yet. To compare the days of beginning of January all the way through to February, recent days, say the beginning of the week of this February, glorious times of the day. And as far as the full moon, it is a full moon, but it's not visible during the night hours. It is at its beginning phases. Therefore, if you do know how the moon phases are in a regular pattern, but when the full moon is full and then it goes away to start all over again, you won't see it at the first appearance or the second or the third or the fourth days. It only appears when it's so thin, like a thread around the half circular kind of planet, but it's not visible, all of it. And as it goes from then on, the moon length become more visible day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second, 365 days a year. And as we all know, this February falls on 29th days. That makes it one day more than the regular patterns of February days. The end of the month ends at 28 days. And if we are to calculate 2 and 8, 2 plus 8 gives you 10. Adding and subtracting, minus and dividing equals different fractions. And in this occasion, this February month falls on 29th days. Then if you would add up 2 to 9, it'll give you 11 days, for instance. It'll give you a number 11. That is 2 plus, not minus. So as is for numbers, 1 is always a singular. It never is a plural. 0 is a number, don't give you nothing. 0 has to be next to something. Always after a number. Could be any number. You start with 1. If you have 0 next to it, it gives you 10. If you give it at the front of it, give you nothing. Anything in the front of 1, give you nothing. If, for instance, you put 0 in the front of 1 before you write 1, that 0 doesn't count. 0 is a ghost number of the accurate sequence of figures for numbers. But however, it only happens if you have it at the front of another sequence number. Like for instance, you put 0 in front of 1. It's 1 that counts, not 0. 0, it doesn't count. If you put 1, then 0 after it, then it becomes number 10, which is number 1 and another 9 numbers, 1, 1, 1, 1, and you continue as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 plus 1, and then plus 1, and then another 1 plus 1. You only add in 1 each time until you come to number 10. Then you equal it as 1, 0. That is number 10. As simple as that. That is traditional way of counting. So if a person, let's just say, is a literate person who never been to school, who never been to learn how to count numbers, you could just pick up the little stones when you play in a game and start counting each stone, because stones comes as individual. 1, and another stone is 2, another is 3, another stone is 4, another is 5, another stone is 6, however, and so on. Like I said before, a figure could be a human being as one person. It don't mean you two of you become one. You don't become one. You produce one. If you, for instance, get married, you have children, you start with one. You may not start with one. You may have a twins or a triplets, or more than that. But a human figure is one. Always it is a singular one. You can have 2 heads, 4 legs, for example, or 12 arms, but you are one person. One figure of a human being is one. When you have another person next to that person, wherever, however you think of it, it becomes 2. 2 figures. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And if you're married and you have a child, if you decided to have a child, then that child is number 3. Then you add it as 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal 3. That's how numbers are. So if you add, say, 1 plus 2, you end up with 3. 3 figures, 3 sequence. But not if you have, for instance, sugar. 1 kilo of sugar is 1 kilo. If you have a machine, it would give you exactly 1 kilo. If you weigh it in the traditional way, in the scale, you're not always accurate of giving 1 kilo of sugar or 1 kilo of flour on 1 kilo of, say, hummus. chickpeas. But if you have a machine, if the machine is in a working order, that machine would give the exact number of 1 kilogram. And I am at the moment recording the weather from where I live. As you can see with me, the clouds are now started to get darker, not much of pink color like it was as I started talking to myself. Now the clouds are merging with the pink clouds, as it were, when the sun was rising up high in the sky. Since the sun is going down the other side of the street where I live, to the left, the clouds are starting to merge with the evening light, slowly becoming darker than it were as I started speaking a few minutes ago.